Welcome to the 24 T2 tournament for Lime War. This is round 3, the semi-finals, with Daseabneren versus Nickname. Now, just like last time, this is a best of 3, so there will be at least 2 battles in this video, or 3, depending on how the battles play out. So Daz is trying to start as close to the centre as he can get, whereas Nickname's starting near the city down in the south, but reaching for the centre as best he can. So Daz is starting in the north, and he's got 3 factories there producing tanks just on that choke point. An airfield's just been produced behind it, and as you can see in the top right, you can see there's a group of infantry being moved, rather than capturing, towards that energy well, so we can get some energy for what's going to be quite a heavy energy-based army composition. As for Nickname, he's got a town set up already, an airfield and a barracks, and a bit further south there's another town been built already, and he's just going to be expanding with his infantry as they come up, but he's trying to get as many through that top choke point as fast as possible, rather than capturing all the territory nearby. He's just going to let a group of units come by and collect them later. So let's get started, as I think we're going to have some commandos being dropped in around the map. So as we noticed earlier, we got Nickname's forces coming up towards this way, but Daz is already pretty much cutting off Nickname as it is. So we'll have to see how he plans to get out of this at the moment. He's got the commandos, so he does have other options. And he has his units coming through, collecting the rest of the territories as he's got in here. Daz is rushing in for a defense. And now he's got his tanks in play as well. He's getting this energy well location. He doesn't quite have energy yet, I don't believe. He does not, no. So Nickname's forces have just rushed in there to take out that defense. They're coming in around the side. You can see the blue command's being set up behind the positions. He's trying to get around the back, but the tanks have come in. And Nickname looks to be surrounding those tanks. Which can be pretty good. He's trying to get the tanks to have as many units firing at them as possible. But as we can see, the commandos are on their way into another location. But those tanks are rushing in. Nickname has his own tank on the field, and he's going to be trying to block the path there. They're going to be targeting this town, and he's taking those out. Those are heavily damaged tanks, so that tank shouldn't take too long to take them out, which he did, but Daz has set up this defense here. The commandos were released over in this location, and I think that, yeah, that's all that's over there at the minute. So Daz will technically be behind the enemy. The tank did go down at this defense as well. But just look at the map, we got this area down here, so now Daz we'll have to worry about Nickname on another location of this island. And we're getting some boats by the looks of it, so he may be able to jump across by the water as well. Just looking at it, we got a transport plane from Daz, so he does have the ability to send transports himself, send the commandos over. Helicopters are on the field. We got those going for the tank over here, which is being rapidly moved away, but there isn't really any anti-air here at the minute. We got the SAM moving in, but there is only 3 factories to produce them, and only one of them is. And yeah, that Navy Yard there is building transport boats to begin with, so Nickname is trying to find many options to get around. Just trying to look around the map. We've got some blue line commands over here to try and get to locations quicker, but I think they've got caught on an orange dot there. And at the minute, this is just going to be a standoff. They've got SAMs digging in as well, so that'll be helping them against the air units. And tanks are trying to rush around this location. I think he realised that Nickname got across and wants to prevent anything bad coming from that. But Nickname's got plans as well, and I believe he's going to be using this transport boat soon. He's getting them across over in this section, which is going to be threatening this energy well, which is Daz's only source of energy at the moment. He does have other locations to build on, but he doesn't actually have them done yet. We've got 2 helicopters coming out from Nickname, but only 2 of them would release. These ones are black smoking, so he doesn't have a lot of energy himself. Let's have a quick look over at Nickname, sorry. He does have 1 energy well, as you can see here, and the interceptors are coming in now. There's no anti-air from Nickname. So I think Daz has a good position on this edge here. We've got the commandos being released on this side via the boats, and they're going to go straight for this energy well over here. They're not even going to try and take territory yet. Sorry. They're sniping a couple of units as they stray through. Over in this section though, the interceptors are being used to spot those commandos and just scouting the area really. We've got helicopters being moved over here. We've already got the commands on this structure for the helicopters to attack. And the tank is over here trying to take some territory as he moves across, so Daz will have a foothold forward against him. Trying to make sure we don't miss anything going on over here. We do have artillery going down. And we've got missile ships as anti-air here. Getting a bit close to those artillery. I think he's going to actually try and take on some of those, but they're going to do a lot of damage as 3 of them firing. They're a distraction as he moves his main force in. So they're kind of acting like a meat shield to allow these artillery to get through, and if they don't fire, the missile ships will take on those artillery as well. And he's trying to get tanks in around the side as he clears a gap in with his missile ships there. Commandos are building up on this ridge here, so they're going to be trying to push through soon. And the helicopters are taking out what they can here. They've got a commando in over here as well. They transported one across. But even Daz is now struggling with his energy. And Nickname has successfully pushed through here. The commanders on this side are taking on artillery, and the artillery can't really spot them in time. So those commandos get right up close to those artillery before they can actually deploy. We've got a pretty good assault coming in from Nickname here. He's dropping in directly on top of Daz's base over here, being supported by the helicopters. I assume will be coming in, unless that's Daz's command actually. I think the helicopters are moving over this side, so they're going to be trying to take out the structures there. But Nickname is free to explore this section of the map now. He's opened up a lot of options for himself now. Commandos are still roaming in this forest over here. But Nickname's also on this section here as well, and we do have some units moving in through there as well, so fortunately I think Daz is going to be separated into 2 groups here. Split in the middle by this assault here. Nickname predicting the advance forward. To be fair, it's not hard to predict, but you know what I mean. We've got the artillery deploying in there. And more commandos being dropped in on the main base. The artillery is holding up here for a little bit, but they are getting taken out slowly. But a lot of the forces did retreat, but we got some tanks rushing into the back end of this, trying to see what they can grab hold of. The commandos are going to be the defense, but Sam is literally getting in the way of those tanks there. And helicopters coming in down to support and try and take out those units that are strayed off. The helicopters have apparently escaped over to this direction, and they're going to be attacking the energy well instead of the commandos. It looks like Nickname up in the north is kicking Daz off of this section here now. We've got the barracks left, but that's about it. And we've got some commandos roaming the mountains. The landing site for Nickname is slowly being overrun, but the attacks are still happening via the air through helicopters, but the interceptors are rushing in now on a haste command, and they're going to be taking out that helicopter, and I don't think they're going to get any of the others. But Nickname once again struggling with energy, doesn't have many other spots for economy. We're just going to have a look at their eco at the moment. So we're on Nickname right now, so Red has 860A, whereas Daz has 1000, so Daz is still ahead slightly when it comes to economy. We've got a bigger engagement going on here as Daz has progressed further into this section. And it's going to be trying to clear out Nickname from up in that section there. Over on this side, they're setting up defences once again. Daz trying to keep control over Nickname and where he can go. But I would like to check down here. I assume Nickname did get through. It looks like he got pushed back and he's holding up on this corner here. The energy well was rebuilt, but the helicopters obviously came in to attack it once again. Over in this section, the commandos who are normally stealthed are also in the forest, so I don't think these units are spotting them when they're in the forest dug in. And they're getting taken out pretty quick, so those units, they are spotting them in the end, but that's on the corner, I'm not sure. So Nickname's held up there, and still at his original location. Daz is a bit cautious about moving forward, he's just trying to hold him in place. Essentially, he's trying to starve him out when it comes to the economy, trying to outpace him. But I've just spotted these two structures down here from Nickname. Two barracks there to produce infantry. There's 3 tanks just lying in wait there, and I think Daz already knows about it. He's got the barracks up here, ready to move in. Some more defences being set up as Nickname desperately tries to get out. Over here, he's trying to get Nickname gone from this one location, so he's packing via air, and there's absolutely no anti-air here. And on this side, Daz has decided to set up a defense to try and stop Nickname's advances through here. He's letting him have it for now, and he's just trying to hold off that location. Trying to keep an eye on multiple places again. And it looks like Nickname is not going to be able to hold this area for much more longer. He's pretty much going to lose that, but he's trying to get through in this side instead. He's getting units straight behind this defense. Rendering the defense useless, he's going to try and take out the barracks as fast as possible. And the barracks does go down. He's going to probably lose these units, but he did take out structure for it. And his helicopters are coming in to snipe one for him. Trying to make it a bit fairer of a trade, but they're going to still do some extra damage. Take out one of those commandos. He's found another location to dig in, and he's just holding that zone there. We've got more units being pushed down towards these barracks, led by a tank. The helicopters may come in and try and take that tank, to be fair. Looks like they're just targeting infantry for now. Trying to keep an eye on what's going on here. It looks like Daz is trying to push once again, but just can't get through this defense. I say that as I look closer, and they're pretty much gone now, so he can get through the defense. Just needs a bit more backup, which is getting through here. He's got a transport boat, and he's bringing those infantry and the artillery that was here across over in. So that's behind these defences as well. And the helicopters will be able to take out this energy well, but there is anti-air just hidden behind the black smoke. So it will cost them eventually. Nickname's trying to push out from his main location once again. He has managed to hold this area down here, and he's bringing back his helicopters into the southern areas. But he's slowly trying to push through this section. There is a tank and there's a few artillerists, but they're being taken out by two cruisers and protected from air units by missile ships, but he's once again struggling with energy. And now Daz over here is left with mostly Sam, which is going to be pretty useless against this attack. And Daz is still trying to send units over here, in which he's probably trying to get, like, focus down this location so he can keep control over this one otherwise. And he does have quite a few units moving to the right. He doesn't want Nickname to advance out of this area. I just want to keep an eye on the actual economy. So Daz has gone up by 300. He's on 1,300. Nickname's also gone up about equally. He's 1,100 now. Tanks are trying to move in and clear up any units that are straying off in front. Which is good that they're avoiding the artillery, but they've got to come in and take them out as soon as possible, really. We do have air units moving in, mostly interceptors though, but a lot of helicopters are coming in from multiple directions, and they will be able to take on a lot of these. There's not a lot of anti-air coming in with them, but we do have anti-air here, if Nickname can get the energy for it. Instead, he's bringing in his missile ships. Over in this section, Daz is sweeping through. It looks like Nickname's lost control over in that section, so he really needs to try and pick up the pace in other locations. Which he could be doing in the south and on the right-hand side. You guys can see on the minimap, to be fair, but I can't quite see the minimap because I've edited it in. So the helicopters are brought in over here. I think they're going to try and come this way, but there's a few infantry being dropped in to try and take on some structures there. Just want to have a quick look over here. And looks like Nickname pushed forward and then dug in, which is going good for him, but he's mostly got infantry here. And there's artillery coming in, so he's going to have to get rid of those defenses soon and jump on that infantry. Artillery, sorry. Commandos are once again being dropped in over the mountains here to try and sneak around. Interceptors just missed over here, and it looks like Nickname's bringing in his interceptors. We're going to have a bit of a dogfight here, which is quite interesting. As they take too much damage, they do retreat even if they've got ammo, so that they can actually make some repairs. Unfortunately, that one didn't quite make it. Just spotting these infantry once again trying to move across. Keeping an eye on two things happening at once here. So the missile ships are taking on those helicopters. They come in from this side. If you brought them in from the other side, it might have actually been a bit more effective. I think he was trying to as he set the marker here, but because they were there, they sort of just come in that way. And now Nickname's keeping his artillery, on the coastline here to keep protection from these SAMs. With these SAMs. The infantry defense has been pushed back. Without the ability to take on those artillery, he's going to have to push forward eventually. Or I think he's just trying to slow them down, knowing he's probably lost that location. He did drop those commanders in. It looks like they're digging over here once again, but they are going to be bringing units in across this way. You can see the transport boats. Daz is already on that. Instead, he's going to be trying to take out some infrastructure there. There's quite a few forces here from Daz that's going to be bringing it in into the centre after Nickname lost that northern section. Most of the navy is being pushed around this side. I think the cruisers are trying to stay though. Helicopter, even when it's landed, is being targeted by the missile ship and is being called out pretty quickly, but I don't know if it's going to be quick enough. It looks like he will survive. And there's a rocket being built. I didn't even spot the rocket being built, but that rocket is being sent up into the main section over here. It takes out 3 structures by the looks of it, so that's 3 less production Poor Daz. And Nickname's trying to get that back up now. How much energy wells does he have? I'm guessing 2. Maybe actually he's going to have 3, isn't he? Looking at the max value there. So he's trying to progress through this way and try and take out these structures here. But as he's trying to bring reinforcements this way, the Navy is trying to block them. But unfortunately for Nickname, Daz has a large force swooping in from the right-hand side, from the left-hand side. He probably has spotted it with this commando, maybe. Don't know if it lasted long enough there. Does Nickname have anything else? He does. He's got a small little outpost here, which is being taken on by these helicopters and units straying in from the south. Which Nickname had a little outpost here by the looks of it for a little while. And we've got a fair amount of Navy coming in from the south. It looks like Nickname realised what he was up against and decided to wave the white flag for the first game. Daz is the winner of the first one. So, let's see who wins the next one. Or 2. So, with Daz winning the first round, both players are now entering this match. They've blacked out a lot of the central points. And Daz is focused on starting as close to the centre of the landmass as possible. As up front towards Nickname as possible. Nickname's doing the exact same thing, so we're going to see some early confrontations. Let's see how they start this one. Daz is starting with a town, which does have the potential to have a trade route, but those guys are not running for that. They're running for the energy well. So he's got the town, he's got 2 factories and an airfield. He's getting another barracks set up there. And he is progressing most of his units towards that centre, the double choke point area. So we can sort of see what Daz is doing now. What's Nickname up to? So in the forest he's got an airfield with a barracks. And it looks like they'll be producing commandos and transport jets, which will be good for harassments from Nickname. And for reaching those hard to reach expansions. He's got 2 factories on the other side. And an energy well being constructed there as well. Okay, so we can see how close they've actually started here. So both airfields would be quite in reach of each other. The other airfields over here and here. I think helicopters wouldn't reach. I wonder, can I press tab? I can. So helicopters wouldn't reach, but strikers, although they're out of range slightly, we could have strikers hit here and they would be able to strike it. We've got tanks coming out for Nickname up here, and they're going to be coming down once again. Tanks from Daz as well. Looks like Daz's plan is to rush around and try and bypass the enemy and get into the back of their section of the island. Whereas this tank looks like it's coming straight down towards this area. He's changed his mind slightly and is going this way now. Commandos are flying off over to here, which are going to come to this area. It looks like Nickname wants to cut off Daz's area here. Try and get behind these choke points and defend them instead. The one tank over here is rushing away while the helicopter tries to deal with the tank that's chasing him. They've got 2 in place here. An interceptor comes in, darting in super fast to try and deal with that helicopter. And he's chasing it over there. I don't know if it's going to get the kill though. The helicopter just tries to land but doesn't get there in time. Sam over here trying to clear out that interceptor. Let's just look over here. Yeah, the commandos are over here just past that choke point there. Structure does go down over here. The 2 tanks are pushing in. He's bringing in a helicopter along with an interceptor to try and defend it, but the interceptor's also coming in from Nickname. And it looks like Nickname's coming right into the back of Daz's base over here. Trying to take out that town, but I don't know if he's going to have the time to do it. Instead, he's going upwards instead there. And is targeting a factory. I think he's just moving past it and just having a look around. But 2 more tanks are moving in right now, and they're coming into over here. With 2 more coming in as backup. These 2 are just having a look around, I think. And unfortunately, they just ran out of energy, and one of them went down for that. over in this section, it doesn't look like Nickname wants to hold the choke point. Instead, he's going to advance and try and take out anything they can find here. He picks up on a barracks over here and is going to be focusing that down pretty quickly before it can even produce anything. The helicopters are being protected by SAM from those interceptors, but the tanks are moving in. It looks like they're going to target the SAM units over there as they go by. SAM are hiding in the mountains, so those tanks are probably not going to be able to see them. He does still have a tank over here. He's damaged and he's healing, but it is still there. Interceptors are literally coming in over to stay around this airfield. Actually, no, they're moving away. This is Daz's command. Is protecting his own airfield. 2 tanks have strayed away over here, but they're going to get jumped on by 4 total tanks here. There's a 5th one coming in. And it looks like Daz is still going to try build another barracks over here to try and replace the one he lost. But Daz's Nickname spotted that as well, and he's going to be sending his commanders in up there quickly. Daz is trying to push through the centre, but is being cleared out by the tanks and helis down here. Any infantry that came through this forest has been cleared up mostly by the helicopters, but Daz is in troubling position here. He's being pressured in from 2 sides, mostly harassments from this section and force of infantry from that one. More commandos are being dropped in over here, and that's cleared out the barracks. Still a couple of units there from Daz, but let's have a quick look at the income. So Daz is struggling to expand. He's on 450, whereas Nickname's on 530. It doesn't seem as much of a difference right now, but considering how early in the game it is and how much Nickname has been sort of guiding him, stopping him from going to certain locations, it's going to change over. Well, it's going to have an advantage over a long period of time. The tanks over here are moving straight through this section, completely missing the area. I think he's going in there now. But I think he's figured out that the units are coming from this forest. And now he's going to be sending quite a few tanks there, but these tanks that were here are being cleared up really fast by those commandos and helicopters there. One does slowly get across, but he's not firing at this airfield, which means he couldn't see it. With 1 tank, they really don't have a lot of visibility, so he's going to try and shoot it off up here to try and take something, but unfortunately the tank goes down. Nickname seems to have stopped the... Actually, no, he's going to send more units across. It looked like he was going to be trying to prepare a defense here instead. The helicopters are going for the energy well over here. Interceptors have been called very quickly to respond. And this interceptor's coming in a little late, but I think that was intentional, just to come in at the right time. The energy well goes down and the interceptor tries to remain, but there's no point really, so they've been called back as well. The helicopters and all interceptors have. Daz is finally pushing through on this section. However, he has lost his expanse on this side, and these commandos are slowly moving in towards Daz here. Daz is taking a good amount of land back, so... but he is going to have these commandos jumping on those SAMS units that were just sort of straying a bit far forward, trying to get close to the airfield so he can take out any returning units. Where is Daz's energy well? He's got over here. Nickname, sorry. Nickname's energy well's over there. I saw that he got destroyed, but he's built another one. Tanks are coming out of this forest to jump on those tanks moving around. And the helicopters are just flying overhead to try and take them out. And the SAM are being forced further and further away from where they need to be because these helicopters are clearing out the artillery over here, but the commandos are pushing those SAM away. And now they're being jumped on by 4 tanks with the 2 there and 2 SAM. I don't think they're going to be able to hold on there. The infantry that came out of the forest just been pushed back by the helicopters just over here. But a lot more infantry are coming out soon. The interceptors just took out helicopter there and they're flying overhead. There's not much to challenge them. And they can target those helis on the ground. The red tanks are being pushed in this side. They're going to try and take out a barracks while they can. Helicopters have been called in pretty quickly though. And it'll be really important to try and defend these, especially as they're what's holding off this section here. Nickname realizes he's got the advantage and is now focusing his construction on industries for a bit, and is also expanding in the back. So I'm imagining Nickname's got quite a good amount of economy now, because he's got 300, nearly 400 there. He's on 800, well, nearly 900 per minute. Daz is on 500, so he's really struggling to try and get anywhere in the way of progress for economy. So Nickname is nearly doubling Daz's economy right now. It feels like Nickname is getting payback for the first game where Daz was suffocating Nickname, but now Nickname's suffocating Daz. They've got a few attempts to try and go around, but those helicopters are taking them out where they stray off, and they've got defensive lines just in the right place where they need them. Infantry are just seeping out of this forest here randomly and trying to take out the structures. Over in this section though, it looks like Nickname does not want to defend this location anymore. He's going to try and advance further. He's found the town that's there, and he's going to try and take that out before it even provides any return from that investment. Try and keep focus on both fights going on here. So we've got the fight over here, which has helicopters and interceptors fighting one SAM at the moment. I think the important part from Nickname here is that most of his structures are hidden, and they're coming out from two different sides of that choke point. So it doesn't matter which side Daz goes through, he struggles to get there because the other side pushes in further. But now Daz waved the white flag and Nickname's gained a point, which means we're back to 1-1, and therefore we have a deciding match. So let's get into that one, shall we? So now we're moving into the final match. This one is the deciding one because they have both won one game each. So this is Battle 3. Taking a look at the map, unfortunately it looks like Daz doesn't have a lot to work with here. He does have a good spot right at the bottom on the right hand side. However, being right in the corner does end up eliminating your ability to expand rapidly. And he has some good open land on the left hand side. But there's a lot of black zones, which means they're probably safe from each other for a little bit. Both players decide to keep to their own islands. They have one each, but in this game, people are never content with what they've got. So let's see how they plan to take the other's island. So taking a look at Nickname first this time, he's got some units spreading out backwards, but he's got 2 airfields with 3 barracks. And it looks like he's doing the commando thing, but to the extreme this time. He's got an energy well being produced there, so he's going to be spreading out probably all over Daz's landmass. Daz, on the other hand, starts with a town. He's got 2 navy yards and an airfield up in the mountains there with a barracks nearby. It could be that he's planning to do a very similar thing, but instead he's getting the transport boats to jump across instead of using the jets. So as the players are getting set up, and we can see that they have their plans in place, I'm just going to look outside of the map here. We've got 3 cities for Daz. Although Daz had to start in a bit of an awkward spot for his island, Nickname started sort of a bit easier, right in the middle, sort of spread out a little bit. If they were to leave each other alone for the entire game and just build up, Daz would probably have a higher economy. He's got more land and he's got 3 cities available. So Nickname's going to have to definitely try and get on that island as fast as possible, but it looks like Daz is going to be the first to invade. That's right, I'm treating it like it's already their island. Because we built 2 airfields straight away, we can get 4 commandos out as fast as possible, which is Nickname's plan. He's bringing it straight into the back of here. He's actually dropping him right on this airfield and energy well. It looks like he knows the energy well is going to be using, because, well, to get across you need either aircraft or ships. So he's pretty certain on this energy well, but Daz has already spotted this. He's bringing units in as fast as he can, but they're going to be taking out the airfield first, which is probably a good choice. And commandos are very good at destroying structures. But are they good enough to take on that before they go down here? And I don't think they're going to. They can close. It's very heavily damaged, but unfortunately not quite. But they are able to do that just again. Daz is going to have to stop them with anti-air, I think. Luckily he's only building helicopters, otherwise that could be even more problematic. However, Nickname is not, and he's building strikers, and he's going to strike the ocean via them. We have commandos dropping in at 2 different locations here. We've got one coming in this way, and they're going to go for the airfield again. They're dropping directly on it, so they will definitely get some shots in on it. We've got 2 jumping on the back here. We're going to be targeting the energy well. This is a very good organisation coming out of Nickname here. But Daz is already on their island and has a territory there already. I also didn't notice this. We got a trade route here for Nickname, but I don't think he's going to really be able to hold that right now. So the commandos failed to destroy these structures again, but they are going to be coming back in for another try. It looks like they might be backed up by some strikers, and they're coming over here to get those navy yards. But they will have resistance there. They do have missile ships coming in. A commando dropped in on either side. That was a bit lucky. I don't know if they're actually going to do the damage they need though. Unfortunately not, but there's another drop coming in over here. I feel like Nickname might be trying to spread himself out a bit too thin there. Try and be as effective as possible, and it's costing him a bit more than he was hoping to. Mostly in time. And that transport jet took quite a bit of damage coming back then. Is that transport? Yep. And we have an interceptor coming in this way. I think he's predicting more air units being moving around soon. He's trying to jump that interceptor as close to the enemy as possible. Strikers look like they're going to take out that cruiser. They do. There's a navy, not navy yard, a sub-pen there, which they were trying to protect. Don't know if they could see it then, because sub-pens are stout. And I think he's done that because he's noticed missile ships and cruisers, but no destroyers. Those destroyers are what counter submarines. They've discovered each other over here, and the strikers are going to be able to clear that up pretty quickly, I would have thought. We've got commandos dropping in on his own island over here to try and take out the invasion of Daz. They've dropped right in the middle of it all, but that is quite a lot of commandos now. And they can definitely hold their own there. The strikers cleared out the defense pretty quick for these infantry to try and move in, but they actually only heavily damaged it. They didn't kill many, only one there. Missile ships have been moved into this location, so any returning aircraft will very much struggle against this. The Nickname's going to need to try and bring in his submarines around this way and try and get into the back of that area. Is there any more things coming out from Nickname on this island? I'm just trying to make sure I can see all the units. It looks like Daz pretty much has his island now. And Nickname's got a few commandos just hiding out in the back, keeping a good eye on Daz over here. And we got loads of sub-pens coming out now, so these submarines are going to be trying to clear up a lot over here. Even when there's destroyers being produced, those submarines will probably be able to outnumber them. I think anything else Daz needs, Nickname needs, he's going to be trying to focus on his air force to try and deal with that. Those interceptors are coming back. They're still targeted by a commando, but they're just not dropping any in over there anymore. Pretty much because of this. Every time something comes out from there, or tries to come back in from there, they're going to get taken out. And those submarines need a few more minutes to try and build up their numbers to go across through there. Strikers checking out what's going on over here. They're going to encounter anti-air as soon as they arrive. Not much that they can really do over there, and I'm just having a look around. Got some infantry trying to expand backwards. The commanders are pushed back as well. But they're just holding up over there, I think. We have a structure on Daz's Island as well now, so Nickname has a bit of a foothold over here now. Exploring with his commandos, he's just checking around. The submarines have moved in, they're trying to take out what they can find over here, and they definitely have the advantage right now. He's building destroyers, but I don't think they're going to be done in time. Instead, we're trying to get aircraft in over here. We've got helicopters moving in, and there's pretty much nothing he can do about that, actually, because he's got no missile ships. And if he does have interceptors, if he sent them out, they're only gonna die at these things. But I think he wants to take out the production to keep his submarines free from counter in regards to anything along this line. Do have that transport boat switching up over here, trying to put pressure on Nickname pretty much at his main location. Those commandos dig in preparation of that. But those submarines are being very successful. One destroyer does get built, and those subs do take it out just because of the amount of numbers they have. So now they're going to try and stop any reinforcements coming in, but he's building up a good front line over here as well, so he's going to be able to push in. And he'll probably be able to take over the ocean. It's just whether he can do it quick enough. Down here, the commandos are still expanding towards Daz's force there. And he switched his transport, so he's dug in over here and tried to take out the energy well with a second force coming in that way. Strikers were in the north trying to protect this area, I think, and unfortunately weren't really able to. There's a large amount of infantry over there. Nickname's struggling with his energy. You can hear the warning siren off, and that energy well is quite badly damaged, but I think it's getting well protected soon. As soon as those commandos dig in, they should be able to take on what's coming through there. The submarine's clearing up the rest of these missile ships now. And now they're going to move on to these transport boats. Forcing Daz to try and go around this defense, which he's already planned to do. Strikers were protecting this area just as interceptors have come in to try and clear them out. There's a lot going on in this game for these players to keep control over what's going on. It's quite impressive. The barracks over here gets taken out. Nickname is forgetting that his defense is here. I think he's just looking elsewhere at the moment. And he does lose his barracks for that. And I think those infantry are going to come into the back of them as well now. With those transport boats down, Daz is forced to take the land route. He's got a tank in the back of this defense. And he's going to be taking them out one at a time by the looks of it. Just trying to keep an eye on what else is going on. The commandos down here have been cleared out. There's one left hidden over here as those infantry try and expand downward. And it looks like Nickname's losing his last territory that was over here as well. Daz is pushing through up here. He's got one tank rushing off, two tanks. Rushing off and around. They're trying to take this energy well if it hasn't already been. And I think they'll be fine. He's going to push through in that way now. Let's have a quick look at the economy once again. We have 800 from Nickname and 1,200 from Daz. So Daz is being very effective at his economy right now. He has been building towns by the looks of it. I don't know if he's built much else, but he has just lost something here from those strikers. The interceptors are coming in now and taking out those strikers, so both sides did lose something from that engagement. Commandos are once again being brought in through the northern section here. And these force of units are just coming through this way. It's mostly infantry, but they are backed up by some artillery and SAM units. Just keeping an eye around. Nickname is focused on trying to find other places. Looks like Nickname got a hold of here. But Daz is taking them out slowly. But also, Daz has tried to build up a second navy force over on this section. And he's going for mostly destroyers this time. With a bit of anti-air. So he will be able to take on those submarines as they get there. Over here we've got the infantry force coming in this way, but they do have a defensive line. I just don't think it's enough. A tank managed to sneak into the back here and is going for this energy well. The Nickname only has two of them, so that'll have his energy supply right now. He's building it straight away. He's not wasting time on that one. Just trying to make sure I don't see anything else. Nope. So in this forest, it looks like they've had a bit of an engagement, and now Daz is changing his idea. He's going around for the top section here as well, which will provide him some cover, but Daz has also put up a lot more production here too. Commandos are trying to sneak up on some of these units, taking any strays out. We have a large group of commandos coming in here. They're all merging as to one plane. The interceptors are coming out, so I think he might only be able to do this once if they don't get away quick enough. Blue's bringing his interceptors in here. He saw that come in. He dropped off quite a few, and these energy wells are going down fast. We're on Daz now. He's only got 50, so he's got 2 more energy wells somewhere. One's here, which is about to go down. And he did lose it. Over in this section, he's trying to trade in the same way, and he's got quite a few units coming in. There's a lot coming in through this section, and a few more being produced over here. And more commanders are en route somewhere. It looks like they're going for this section to try and find any more energy wells to take out. One's being rebuilt here along with a town. I'm assuming the submarines stopped. Yeah, he stopped his moving his submarines there. Over in the forest, we see a lot of units moving in, and it's commandos trying to protect, which do also get a bonus in the forest. And the artillery are moving in against this defense here instead. That way he has to break his defense, or at least break cover from it, to advance on these artillery if he wants to, or if he's just going to hold there and make him take longer to engage. Missile ships are moving down here as well, just in case, to try and take on any air units that come across. Mostly because these interceptors have been a problem for his commandos, I think. An industry goes down there, and the energy well and other industry is under threat, and if he can't hold this location, he's going to lose his main fighting force here. Or should I say his main production, really. Daz has good navy production. He keeps trying to get out, but Nickname's holding him there. So it looks like Nickname has given the game up for Daz. Daz has defeated him. I think both players did extremely well. There was a lot of organisation involved here, trying to counter what the enemy was had available on the battlefield at the time, and trying to handle so many harassments or how many units they had spread out across the map at the same time would be quite difficult. It's always a challenging task to keep eyes all over the field. But they did the best they can, and they did a great job. But Daz will be moving into the finals, and will be facing off against Animorph in the next video. There are 2 videos on screen right now. If you want, feel free to click on one, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.